Welcome back to Autism at Home, brought to you by us at Early Autism Project Malaysia through our non-profit initiative, The Hope Project. My name is Joshebet Isaacs and this is Charmaine. It's so nice to see you again. And welcome to our series on safety. In the first lesson, we talked about why safety is so important, especially when it comes to children on the autism spectrum. In part 2, we then discussed the safety measures at home before talking about wandering in lesson 3. Then in our previous lesson, we talked about safety in the car. Now in this lesson, we will be focusing on safety in the community. In 2022, here in Malaysia, travel restrictions have started to become lifted and children are allowed to be out in public post all the lockdowns. Now, while it's nice to see everyone getting some fresh air, parents should also not let our guard down to ensure their overall safety in the community. Some of the concerns or dangers for children when they are out in the community include road safety, such as knowing when to cross the road, where to cross, and the list goes on. Additionally, car parks can also pose threats to children. Children and maybe even adults may never know when a car can just suddenly appear and may be driving really fast. Walking around in the community in car parks as well as other public places can have many dangers that we as parents will need to be aware of. Most importantly, with some children on the spectrum, they may have a tendency to wander off or worse, just dash off and bolt. And this could be very dangerous. As recommended, we will focus primarily on preventative and teaching strategies.
First is to ensure that expectations are always communicated from the start.
Right.
Wherever you're going, whatever you're about to do, communicate this to your children using strategies that would be the most beneficial for them, particularly visuals. A social story would be good to help give your child an idea of where you are going, what's expected there, but importantly is also a visual schedule so your child knows what the plan is and what is coming next. This will hopefully prevent meltdowns, but also ensure that your child knows of the plan, particularly if there is a certain place or activity that they want to do. For example, in a mall, you may need to go get some groceries, have lunch, and then ice cream, but your child may see the mall and think of ice cream straight away. And if not clearly communicated that he or she will only get the ice cream at the end, he may either have a tantrum or just wander off to find the ice cream store. It is also important to remember that having the ice cream at the end serves as a natural reinforcement that is critical for children to follow the rules and expectations. When your child follows the rules while they are out and about, give them special rewards. This can range from special attention like praises or tangibles like stickers or anything that they might enjoy. It is also good to have a game plan in advance. For example, what time is a good time to visit the mall? What is the adult-child ratio? Where is the information desk and security that you can alert should your child and you get separated? It'll be good to always have a designated adult to supervise the child. Best to take turns so that the responsibility is shared with everyone in the family as well. Wear a GPS tracker or an ID bracelet just in case your child should become separated from you. Any safety skill learned in the home should then be practiced out of the house, starting with non-peak hours, gradually building up to peak hours. How this can be done is depending on your neighborhood. Pick a time of day when the area is less congested and start there.
Those are some very helpful preventative strategies to be put in place. Now we're going to focus on only one key teaching strategy, which is a program called Stay With Me. It is essentially to teach a child to stay with their parents or family members in public. This skill is particularly relevant in trying to prevent our children from bolting or just dashing off. This does not mean, though, that we do not teach that child everything else, particularly to communicate for what they need, and also what to do if they do get lost. But today it's just to focus on one specific skill, which is to be aware of the adult and to stay together with the adult.
Before we start teaching this program, do check if your child is able to do the following prerequisite skills. Basic cooperation, the ability to follow the first stand concept, and the ability to follow some simple instructions. Some of the materials needed to teach this skill are a social story titled Stay With Me, a visual of a child staying with an adult, and a video model would come in handy to help clarify the expectations for your child, as well as a first stand chart. These resources can also be found on our website. The main breakdown for this program is to gradually fade off the adult's prompts from holding hands to being a few feet away from the child. We recommend starting this program in one room before gradually generalizing the skill to other rooms and other places, referring to the same skill breakdown. The purpose of this breakdown is to help minimize the distraction level, especially if your child is particularly motivated by specific things or specific rooms in certain places. Start in a neutral room first until your child has shown some understanding of the expectations. Then gradually introduce different rooms or places.
Here are the steps to practice this skill. First, read the social story with your child. Secondly, show the video model and emphasize on the targeted skill observed in the video. A first then board to communicate expectations. Say the instructions, "Stay with me," and begin practice. Give tokens or an immediate reward for every successful attempt. Reward your child once all trials have been completed. We will begin with having your child walk for just 5 steps, first in one room. The number of steps is 5 first, as this stage is merely an introduction to the skill being taught, and to also just keep your child successful with small, achievable goals. In a room and with only 5 steps to accomplish, begin with holding hands with your child. You can then fade back your prompt to holding your child's elbow, wrists, before gradually moving on to your child's shoulder, and then the next step where your child then walks on his own.
Stage 2 is when a child is expected to walk more steps and to do so more independently, and in similar breakdown to gradually fade off your physical prompt. In this case, the placement of your hand.
The final stage is generalization, whereby the child is expected to practice the same skill in different rooms or areas of the house before moving this practice outside the home. It is recommended for the adult to wait gradually longer durations before giving the reward when a child successfully follows and does what is expected. The reason for this delay is to teach the child to tolerate waiting for the adult to come to them before they can continue walking. We don't want our kids to learn to only pause momentarily and then they can just dash off again.
Pop quiz. How can you best prepare your child to do a community trip with yourself and still practice some safety skills? Use a social story to communicate expectations. Show a video of the location. Practice the safety skills in the home first. Or prepare a schedule for the trip as well as rewards. In this scenario, A, B, C, and D are all important to ensure a successful community trip to practice safety skills. And with all these implemented, your child will be more likely to be successful in the practices. Your child has gone through the Stay With Me program within the home setting, one level at a time, and has achieved consistent success. Now, you are ready to take him out to practice this skill in the community. Which step of the Stay With Me program can you target immediately as the first step in a community setting? Let him walk independently without you for a few feet. You holding your child's shoulder and walking together. You and your child holding hands while walking. Your child walks next to you without holding hands. For safety reasons, it would be best for you to hold your child's hand while doing a community trip for the first time. If we look at ABA strategies, it is also best to break it down for your child. In this case, do the holding hand step first to ensure your child meets the expectation of staying with you. The answer is
So now it's your turn. Download our Safety in the Community checklist from our website and assess your child's safety skills in community settings. You may also add on any concerns you have observed that may not be on the list. Identify the key skill you would like your child to learn. Begin teaching immediately. So that's it for our lesson on safety in the community. In the next lesson, we will be talking about safety around water. If you haven't already, do check out our free online resource platform, Autism at Home, which has all the corresponding articles and downloadables for you. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay updated. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next lesson.